So she just pretty much, since the time I laid her down, just hadn't been settled.
Yep.
Strange. I wonder what Daniel and Kristen are going to do for Steven's first birthday party.
I don't know. Guys, hello and welcome to Skycurser Daily number 84, where it's our goal to be a better indie dev today than we were yesterday. Today we are working on boss scripting. If you joined us last stream, we were able to set up all the necessary elements in order to make sure level 2 ends as expected as soon as the boss is defeated. We are working on boss 2 scripting, but we also set up a test room, an enemy test room, to help us with this. So anytime we want to drop a new enemy in and just test the enemy right away, we can do that. So fortunately for us right now, we're just going to go ahead and do all the scripting in this test room and then eventually move the boss over to the end of level 2, where we already have a placeholder for him. So that is it. And so we've been working for a while now on the boss for the end of level 2, and it's taken us well, not on the boss, but we've been working on level 2 for a while now, and we are finally at the point where it's time to do some scripting for the boss. So that's exciting. Because as soon as we finish him, we'll probably be doing some touch-ups to level 2 in terms of gameplay and the feel for the player. To get our goal, of course, will be to get the maximum high-level impact feel for the player, so that they feel really good while they're playing. Give the player a good feedback loop in terms of buttons pressed, sound effects on screen, weapons, and everything related to that. So I'll show you guys what I see. I'm seeing the scripting for boss at the end of level 2 here, and I'm working on one of the 2 bosses, well, one of the 2 basically one of 2 bosses for level 2. The boss will basically be made up of a combination of Julio and Cesar, and they are together a ghoul, and or a set of ghouls, and they are going to be in tandem with each other. They're going to be fighting Skycurser. So let us just kind of read through here. Movement speed feel considerably faster than Gaki. Julio's first wave should have roughly a quarter of the hit points of Gaki. I'm not 100% sure the reference there. I know, of course, we're referring to Gaki from level 1, but and he says first wave. I'm thinking what that means is there's at least 2 waves based on that. And I'm thinking that he wants us to make that end at the end of a quarter of Gaki's overall total hit points. So we will get into that momentarily, but first we've already got some of this stuff done. We don't have stage music stopping. We basically have Julio coming in, bottom right corner of screen. He's not yelling or laughing yet. There is no boss music to get started. There's not a lot I can do here. I've already updated movement speed in terms of how fast he should move across screen. But then also there's not a lot I can do with respect to hit points yet until I finish reading through here. So Julio starts by moving quickly up and down the right third side of the screen. As soon as he crosses paths with player, he engages his spit attack. The spit bullets move across the screen very quickly. They can be stopped with the katana but not deflected. The spread of the bullets should emulate the Vulcan cannon, slightly off angle for each shot. Julio spits a total of 8 spit bullets at the player per attack. All 8 spit bullets should be fired within 2 seconds. After 3 total attacks, he moves to his next pattern. Okay. So let's just focus on one piece at a time here, and let's make this happen. Okay, so I think the first thing that I'll do is I'll probably have Julio bob right after he comes out on screen. So, of course, let's set a couple things up real quick and set us off to go directly to the test room. So we'll do that right here. Thumbs up. And let's go ahead and test this, make sure everything's in place for this. Good job. So, as far as stream music, guys, I'm playing Approaching Nirvana. It's an approved Twitch, artist and set of songs, and I really like their music for streaming. Not 100% crazy about their vocals, but that's probably just because I'm trying to focus while I'm programming. So I'm waiting for everything to pop up here. We're waiting for the compile screen to finish. I'm going to keep looking at this for a minute. Julio enters his punching phase by quickly moving to a center vertical position on the right third of the screen. Julio throws 3 punches in a row. Very, very quick succession. The first 2 punches travel only half across the screen horizontally. Final punch travels fully across the screen. After first set of punches, Julio moves to the top third of the screen, throws same 3 punches. Okay, we're just reading through. Okay, looks like we're in place here. Julio's right here. We're able to just kind of verify that everything is working as expected. And he's alive, and then he's not. So if I want to retry some things, I can just come back in here. Again, we just have all the major key things set up that we need set up, so we're in a good spot. So when he comes in, like I said, I'm probably going to have him bob for a minute, and I got to find the exact path for to set him on to do that. So I'm going to pull his object up, enemy level 2, boss 2, Julio right here. Boss 2 is got a create event, got a couple of items set in the create action. I'll set that over here to the left hand side if I can get this without shrinking. Give me a second. I'll do it in a second. Step event, open up, and here we go. Try this one more time. There we go. Okay. So animation is here. Initial entry is here. And this is what happens as soon as he's finished his initial entry. Finish with initial entry. You know, I recently decided to change a couple of things in terms of how I program, which is just do the very minimal things at the in the else, and just kind of change the way the if statement works, and then set everything else inside of the if part of the conditional, so that you know, this doesn't get evaluated incorrectly every time and then it automatically go to the else. Instead, it goes right into the if. Not 100% certain if that saves a lot, but I think that since it won't have to evaluate, you know, true or false and then skip a block, it should give me a little bit of boost in terms of speed. So all right, beyond that, let's go to let's find the path that specifically Gaki is on from level 1. And I know it's very soon in here. Yes, sir. Nope, actually working on Julio. Didn't get much done on him the other day. So trying to get as much of that done as possible. Alright, so got a lot of my movements here in script boss 1 movement, so I'm going to go there, script enemies level 1 boss 1 script boss 1 movement right here, and let's search for path, because that's where I would like to find. Let's go to the loop first. Path. Boss 1 hover. Yep, that's it. Let's change that from path boss 1 hover to path boss hover. So I will make that across the board right now, because I mean, I'm probably going to have multiple enemies and bosses doing the hover. So it's a very simple hover. It's just a circle. Could I do it dynamically? Yeah, I could do it dynamically. It's just easier right now to just throw it together real quick. So so there it is. Let's change this to path boss hover and update everything appropriately to boss hover. So there's boss 1 hover, needs to be updated there. Thumbs up there. Next one. So we're doing some refactoring just so we can reuse this a little bit. Necessary part of coding. As you add more code, you try to consolidate what you have so that you can reuse where possible. Okay, so done there. Now we say with self path start, and we have to give the path, which is path boss hover, and speed would be, let's use original step speed. Let's just see how fast that is. They may be too fast. And I'm looking at that guy right there. So it should be 7, speed of 7. End action, I'm having a hard time off the top of my head remembering how that works. Path start. So end action is path action stop, restart, continue, reverse. I will say continue. Continue from the current position. Or restart. Let's do restart. Path action restart. Path action restart. And absolute positioning once more. Let's look at that. Whether this calling instance should follow the absolute path as it is in the editor, or relative path to its current position. It'll probably be relative. I'm not sure what it is by default. I don't think there is a default. So I'm going to say false on that. Okay. It looks like I can do 1 or 0, because it looked like, based on their example, 0 would also work. So I want it, because I want it to be false. So let's just check that out real quick, see what changes need to be made from there, make sure he's looping on a path, a small circular path, kind of give him a little bit of a hover feeling to him. And that may or may not look correct, you know, we'll see. If it doesn't look correct, we'll just create a different path.
Hey, I'm so glad you suggested this.
Yeah, she's digging it. Huh. That obviously didn't work. Let's try. Let's try false instead of 0. It might also, you know, what he may have done is gone to where that path actually is based on how it's been generated here. Right now it's at 280, you know, my position is roughly 280 by 176. It might have just migrated straight to there. So let's change this to true and just see how this, if absolute helps it. I feel like absolute would be incorrect. So he's right there. He's not really moving anywhere. He jumped down. That's what the absolute stuff will do. I'll put that back to false. Might be something to do with the path action restart. I mean, everything looks good to me there, and the boss works as expected from level 1. And I don't think with self would be messing anything up. He flies in as expected. His initial entry is complete. It's just almost like he's not on the path. Let me just try it this way. And also let me just kind of reference enemy 1 as well. I'd be really shocked if enemy 1 is much different than this. So let's just double check. Okay, so I just literally just set him on his path. And 2 is acceptable. 2 was a basically just I'm curious real quick. If this was 0, 1, and 2, I wonder if 2 is actually the key number here, because this is new documentation. It used to be like 0, 1, 2, 3 here. And I wonder if I need to do 2 instead of path action restart, or even if that would have much difference. But let's try this. I just removed the with statement, so let's try that first.
Are you starting to get mad?
Yeah, let's try 2. If he's going to act crazy like that. Oh, and the other thing is, I noticed the speed was really slow with Gaki. I had it set to 1, so I might slow it down here too for him. I don't know if the speed is throwing it off or what, but we'll see. That didn't work either. Let's set this to 1. And the last thing I might do is, let's first go here. Let me just read this for a second. If the initial entry is complete, go here. Otherwise, if it's not complete, keep running this until we hit it, and then set it to complete. Once it is complete, it's in here. So I don't see anything that should mess that up or interfere with it. So we'll just keep troubleshooting here. So he goes by a little bit slower. That's very interesting. Oh, I know what's going on. So the problem is right here, it keeps hitting in here with this step, and it keeps setting him on the path, setting, instead of just setting him on the path once. So the way we handle that is just with a Boolean. And I've got some defaults basically right here for the boss, and then I've got some loop variables. I know this is going to go into loop variables, so let's just create initial hover started equals false. We will say if initial hover is not started, and set him on the path, and that should do it. And I'd like to use the new way that they have listed here and see if I can go back to my original step speed. Again, I think it might be too fast, but we'll just take a look at it. path action reverse, I think was the terminology. Yep. So let's try again. And I do see that I have a bug I need to correct before we go in. So as soon as it loads, I'm going to have to hop out and then restart it again. Because I need to set it to true here, so once again it doesn't keep trying to go into the set them on the path. Set them to true. There we go. Okay. All right. Try again. Look how fast that is. Oh, and I did put him on reverse, so he is doing this weird, I meant to say restart. He's doing this weird back and forth. Alright, let's try that again. And that is super fast. I'm certain that I'll be slowing that down. Yeah, that's right. That's right there. Alright, and let's go ahead and do the 1. I'm sure that'll look way better. Oh man. That's probably pretty close. I might speed it up like to 2 or 3. And I did not mean to change that. Let's go 3 times as fast right there. Tweak play, tweak play. Still a little, that's a little too fast. So yeah, maybe half of that. I mean, I felt like the other one was too slow. So maybe just cut that one. Not in half, but by a third. So I'm going to say that's good for that for now. Okay, let's look at our scripting and keep moving here. So he starts moving quickly up and down the right third of the screen. As soon as he crosses paths with the player, he engages the spit attack. So I think I'll have him hover just for a second. And so that means we'll have to have a counter, hover counter. And we'll just call this initial hover counter 0 and initial hover complete equals false. Okay, so if initial hover counter is less than room speed times 2, just for 2 seconds. Initial hover counter plus plus. That should do that. And we say else. Then we know it's complete. I think what we'll do here is say if initial hover is not complete, Yep. So then we set it to true there. And at this point, we are running really good here. So this is once we've determined that he's done hovering. And I think really we'll probably just set him I don't know if I want him to go like literally straight up and down. I'm just trying to think how I can add a little bit of flavor to this. I don't necessarily think I have to though either. So let's give him a distance to go to. So head up, and we'll say point direction. Give him an X and a Y position. Well, give this formula. It's give this method the current X and Y position of Julio, and then give them a desired X and Y position. Var X position equals. Let's do room height divided by 6. Var. Oh, that's not correct. So let's keep this X position. I like this X position. And then give it a Y position of room height divided by 6. And so then we just pass X and Y here. And then we get the distance. So we set the direction equals here, speed equals. His step speed is too high here. This should be like 3. So original step speed, and that might be too high as well. I'm not sure yet. What I did want to do though here is when his hover is complete, I do need to end the path end. So we just want to stop it from going on the boss hover. And there's nothing required for path end as long as it still knows what path you're on. Direction, speed, and then distance equals very similar to point direction. It's just point distance. And that is, of course, distance without a J. And if floor distance less than or equal to 5, then we basically have him stop at 5, but anywhere along the way we want him to stop if he recognizes that Skycurser is there. So I think I'll program this piece first and then come and determine, help him determine if he should stop early. If he's there, then speed equals 0. And then, so we need to also say heading up equals true. And set heading up equal to false. set the default of heading down, the property heading down equal to false, and then also set it to true right here as well. Actually, maybe we don't even need this, because basically if you're not heading up, you're heading down. So if you're heading up, you're doing that, else you're heading down. And you basically repeat the same thing, except you just give it a different Y position. Alright. And everything else is pretty much the same. Heading up equals true, though, at this point. And when we say speed equals 0 here, maybe we shouldn't change the speed, because it'll just automatically start going the opposite direction. So let's just play that and see what we got, because he should just go up and down at that point. So he's going up, going down, going up, going down. I think what I'll do is I need him to come down further. I don't really like how far down he comes. He needs to come down even further. So I think what I'll do is break the room up into more, and then have him come down further by just making that number a little bit higher. See if he comes down any further. That should basically split it up into more rows, split the room up into more rows, and then make him come down to a lower row in the room, if the room were to be divided into horizontal rows. I like that. Yeah, that looks really good, actually. Look how far down he comes. He just barely kisses the bottom of the screen. And he needs to basically, whenever he lines up directly with Skycurser, he needs to stop. Okay, so we will say, and I don't know if I've seen a spit projectile. I've seen the spit animation, but I don't know if I've seen that weapon. So let me look here for a minute, see if I can find it. Well, I guess there's a new enemy, a Hummer machine gunner? Huh. I haven't seen this guy yet. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. This is, I guess this guy sits on top of a Hummer. Let's all zoom in. That's cool. He's holding onto a machine gun and firing it. That's hilarious. Okay. So let's look and see if we can find that enemy. I don't see it uploaded here. Cars, maybe. Nope. Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't think it's done yet. I mean, if it is, it's not uploaded. Again, though, can't find the spit. So I think what I'll do is just I'll have some placeholder bullets. And let's see, I'll use the projectiles from the dire peps as the spit bullets for now. Are you suing the GIFs on the dev blog to determine the animation speed? Are you using the GIFs on the dev blog to determine the animation speed? No, not necessarily. Animation speed is kind of determined by me at runtime. If I were to play the animation speed the way that it's handed off to me, basically it's built, the animation speed for every single one of these GIFs is built in 30 frames per second, but the game is run in 60 frames per second, so they all run at least twice as fast as they should. But even if I slow it down to twice as fast, sometimes I need to slow it down even more for them all to look right. And it's just kind of a case-by-case basis. Why do you ask? Heading up, and let's do a let's do an if here. So if y is equal to, let's do a check for Skycurser first. If y is equal to Skycurser's y, then found Skycurser equals false. Let's say found Skycurser equals true. And in any one of these locations, we will first make sure that if Skycurser is not found, you know what, I think I can actually do it all the way on the outside here. If Skycurser is not found, then we go ahead and run this animation. Otherwise, if he is found at this point in time, stop everything, speed equals 0, and change animations, which will be this guy right here. I need to look at the script itself for Boss 2J animation. Okay, it looks like Boss 2J, and then I need to pass in, oh, I just need to set the action. So I just say action equals spit. Try it again, spit. And technically I probably don't even need to pass that guy in, because I could just look for him if he exists, and then execute it. Probably be the best way to do that, so I didn't have to pass any parameters. But it's not something that's really 100% necessary to change. It'd be something that I would change when I go back and clean everything up. So speed, so action equals spit. Let's read what our script is here. And it says all 8 bullets should be fired within 2 seconds.
Is it too much rain in your face?
After 3 attacks, he moves to his next pattern. Okay. Oh, just curious. Cool. Alright, so spit counter equals 0. You know, the other thing I need to do right here, I can go ahead and set the initial hover counter to 0, because at this point it doesn't matter. Eventually I'll just need to reset hover complete. So sorry, going back and touching some things as I'm thinking about them here. Spit, and then spit counter equals 0. If spit counter is less than room speed times 2, spit wad counter, I don't know what the actual thing is going to be, equals 0, and spit wad counter is less than 8, or we'll say, or spit wad counter is less than 8. Go ahead and keep spitting, and we will say spit counter plus plus, so that we can get it above 2. And also every time that a spit actually occurs, we will we'll make sure to increment the spit wad counter. So let's go look at the animation. What image index does the spit actually occur on? So let's go look at that. Enemies, level 2, boss 2, Julio. Should be between 12 and 18, so we're getting up to 12. Looks like 14 is where it happens. Okay, so so we'll say if image index is equal to 14, and we'll make sure to say floor image index. Mainly you say floor around image index because that makes sure that it hits an integer every time it checks, because if your image speed is not 1 and it's less than 1, of course your image speed can be any number between 0 and 1, but if it's less than 1, it's definitely possible for your image index to not hit an integer, instead for it to hit, like, you know, I'm on 13.8 or 8.7 in terms of what part of the image index I'm currently on. Do I still work on SC2 Vault? You found that, man. You found it. Found SC2 Vault. Yeah, I let the cert expire. I know. I was getting no interest at all in SC2 Vault. I had really big hopes for it, and it may still come back around in the future, but right now this is taking all my time. But I moved away from it, man, because like literally no interest in SC2 Vault. So, all right, floor image index equal to 14. But thanks for the heads up, though. I appreciate you checking that out. Glad you saw it. How did you make the connection that I was working on SC2 Vault? Where did you see that at? Huh? And so if that's the case, instance create. And we're just going to do a very similar XY right where we're currently at. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm sure I'm gonna have to modify this, but sucks when you build something cool and don't get the users. Yeah. Oh, it's in my bio on the Skycurser website. That's funny. I didn't realize that. I think Phil put my bio together, so. Alright, XY, and then we are looking at projectiles, so we're trying to drop in the dire peb projectile, so give me a second to find that. It's under objects, and it's under weapons, under objects, weapons, object, peb dire projectile. Yeah, man, I put a lot of development hours into SC2 Vault, and it's really, really extensive in terms of what you can do. I think there may even be a short video on it on YouTube about all the potential opportunities with SC2 Vault. Literally one video. But it was going to allow StarCraft 2 players to tag YouTube videos so that they could... really, the big thing was so that StarCraft 2 players didn't have to waste a lot of time trying to find the best, most recent builds, and other SC2 players could literally tag all the SC2 videos and rate them, and it would just kind of help somebody get to really quick StarCraft 2 build quicker. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Alright, so peb dire projectile, I think literally that's all I have to do, and it should just kind of behave as expected. The one thing that this will do that isn't quite expected behavior is that it will get deflected by the katana, and that's not necessarily what we want, but it's also fine. So once that happens, we also increment the spit wad counter, and so that eventually it'll be above 8 there. And if this is the case, then we say that we are that Skycurser is not found. So we basically tell him to keep continuing heading up or down, otherwise he's going to be spitting. Alright, so let's see what this looks like and see how good this is. I may need to increase his image speed a little bit during the time that he's spitting, but I'm not sure yet. The main reason is I want it to happen pretty quick. I don't want it to take too long. I wanted to start a site to discuss some of my favorite software and software developers, but that would get even less attention than software I would discuss. So he's moving up and down. Oh, he hasn't found Skycurser. Something's wrong. Y position is not correct. So there's something off here. I think what I need to do is, we know for sure Skycurser exists. We know that his Y at some point should equal Skycurser's Y. We could make this a little bit more like if the integers match up exactly. No, but I really appreciate that, P-Dog, man. Like, yeah, I think a lot of people would love Skycurser. And I really appreciate the hype that you have for this, man. It's really good. Really love it. So what else I need to do here is make sure the spit wad counter gets reset. And I need to make sure the spit counter gets reset. And his speed is already set inside of heading up or down. So, and actually I could probably, you know, the only thing different between these two is the heading up, heading down, and the X position, Y position. Everything else really could come outside like this, and we could remove these. I think I'm like 100% okay with how that looks. Cool. Just to reduce duplicate code, prevent me from having to literally, you know, maintain it in more than one place. Okay, next. Well, we're having some sort of issue where Skycurser is not being found, although I did just change this, so that may fix it. I added the floor around these checks. But I would like to see some debugging here. So if we have Skycurser, we're going to look for it, and
Easy carrying baby system.
oh gosh, this seems like a bad idea.
I mean, what could go wrong?
She's loving it, huh? She's just hanging out.
Oh, they're still awake there. With a very full diaper.
Show me what you got. Oh, look at this. Has some problems here. He is stuck, and I'm pretty sure. Let's just look at our debugging. Here we go. No Skycurser match. I did need to say I needed to do one more debugging here. There's something wrong with this, though, apparently. The way I grabbed that out of there. You wouldn't think there would be. I don't really want to mess with this right now, or figure out why it's just not getting it. Just drop them back in here. Alright, keep moving. Oh, yeah. So there should be somewhere in here. Oh, there it goes. Why are they going backwards? Huh, he doesn't change his animation back. So I need to do that real quick down here. Change the animation. And the Boss 2J animation doesn't actually need to change because it should just automatically hit it every single time. All I need to change is the action. So back to here, action equals normal. Let's look at our output. He did find him at one point. Oh. I think what I'll do is do it a little bit differently, which is let there be a range on it. So if y really I want to do y plus or minus 20. Plus 20 or floor at the y minus 20 is equal to floor object Skycurser dot y. Alright, let's try that. Why were those PEB projectiles floating backwards? That was a little bit odd. I think maybe what I'm doing is controlling them. Yeah, that's exactly right, P-Dog Jr. He's definitely going to work in tandem. Do you find him? Hello. Do you find him? Find. Hello? Not there? Ah, there he is. Hey, exactly. So the problem is if he still found him, he needs to have like a cooldown period before he tries to find Skycurser again. After coming out of the, after coming out of this. But let's look at the PEB Dire projectile and how I'm controlling that. I wonder if I'm doing that through the Dire PEB itself. I bet I am. Yeah. So I'll just grab that right there.
I too. Dad, I too.
Yeah. So there's going to have to be a cooldown on I do see a bug here. I need to make sure that I take care of this real quick. If instance exists, else. Okay. So there's going to be a cooldown before you can fire this, because the problem is floor image index is hitting about 3 times in a row before anything else happens. So There will be a very short cooldown. There's going to be a found Skycurser cooldown as well. Julio forces Skycurser to stop camping in one position, then says "Sorry, keep Skycurser dodging in the next location that it moves." Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got to read all of the different pieces here and elements. I'm not really sure until I get through scripting and reading it. But yeah, that is correct. They're going to work in tandem with each other. So if Spitwad is not fired, I'm basically just going to say it can't fire again. While the image index is still 14. True. And we say else Spitwad is not fired. Anytime that it's not 14. Okay, so that's good. And then we need a cooldown period here. This is still not catching as good as I would like. And it seems like he is just not finding Skycurser enough still. Let me look at this. I mean, that should pretty much be a match. I think I've got my checker wrong here. I've got is equal to. I need to say if floor of this guy's y plus 20 is less than or equal to, and floor minus 20 floor object Skycurser Y.
Subsequent to the Olympic gymnastics coach, even after charges the 11-year molester, one of his young female athletes on multiple occasions, and charges the police found.
Let's modify this so that it's, if the y of this guy is within the floor less than or equal to the floor Skycurser y plus 20. Floor y plus 20. If this guy is less than or equal to object Skycurser plus 20. And floor y is let me think about this. Less than or equal to y plus 20, and floor y is greater than or equal to y minus 20. Yeah. So I think that would do it. Let's try it again. The other thing I'm not doing is giving him a cooldown yet, just because I'm trying to make sure I can get this to get him to stop as soon as he sees Skycurser. That's pretty awesome. That looks pretty good too. The Y position maybe could go up a couple pixels, but maybe not even though. It's almost like the X position could go forward several pixels and the Y position up. But we need to cool down on finding Skycurser. If Skycurser is not found, or found Skycurser cooldown is less than or equal to room speed times 3 seconds. So let's just give him 3 seconds in between each fire, and let's also make sure he found Skycurser cooldown plus, and then we'll reset found Skycurser cooldown right here. Yeah, dude. Welcome. For sure. Alright. Let's give this a shot. Now we have Julio shooting 8 bullets. And he should theoretically continue after he shot 8 bullets instead of just continuing to shoot 8 bullets in a row without moving if Skycurser doesn't move. So 3-second cooldown. That was pretty far away from Skycurser. So look, he's not finding him, 3 seconds is up. I can't remember if I did 3 seconds or 2 seconds. 2 seconds would probably be enough. Yeah, 2 seconds probably. Okay, if I didn't do 2 already. Whoa, new boss. Yep, that's right, dude. New boss, Julio. He's one of 2 hands. And, yeah, it's going good so far. Alright, so this distance is quite a bit now that he's finding him all the time. Let's change this to 10 and 10. It might be even 5 and 5, but we'll see. And quite honestly, I don't even need any more of this matching. Or this debug messaging. Sweet. Let's count these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. I mean, that's pretty good right there. I kind of like how it's going right now. And instead of doing this pattern, I am going to speed him up quite a bit. And so he's going to go a little bit faster than he's currently going. When he changes over to spit. So I'm going to say image speed equals image speed times 2, and then down here I'll reset the image speed to image speed. Well, actually this is not going to work because I need to let's just set the image speed inside of the animation, because it'll basically just continue speeding up the image speed. It'll look really funny if I do it like that. So we've got image speed set right here. Let's go original image speed equals 0.2, and then this will be original image speed. So now we can say normally image speed arg0.image speed equals arg0.original image speed. But for now, when we're in the spit animation, arg0.image speed equals arg0.original image speed divided by 2, or times 2. Speed it up. Okay. Oh, DeBeastly Bro, meet P-Dog Jr. P-Dog Jr. meet DeBeastly Bro. DeBeastly Bro's one of my mods. He's been a supporter for a long time, so much thanks to him. And he periodically comes through here, and DeBeastly Bro, P-Dog Jr. has really been a big fan of Skycurser ever since he came across it not even that long ago. So he's been pretty good about getting in here and saying what's up. Alright, so think we're good here. He should shoot quite a bit faster now. And the other thing I wanted to do was, instead of doing the direction in the direction of Skycurser, I'm going to have a counter. And we'll go, actually we already have a counter, it's the spit-wad counter. And we'll say if spit-wad counter modulus 3 is equal to 1, do this, else if spit-wad counter modulus 3 is equal to 2, then do this, else if spit-wad counter modulus 3 is equal to 0. So modulus just takes the remainder. It divides the current number and takes the remainder. I'm not sure if I can do, I think I can have it set to 0, no problem, because 0 modulus 3 is equal to 0 would be the correct piece here. So this is going to be orb.direction equals 180, and this will be orb.direction equals a little bit off of 180, so it's actually going to be a really slight difference, 170, and then this one will be like 190. So we'll see, it's like just a 10-degree difference. See what that looks like. It should give us kind of a spread pattern. So we'll see how that works, and it won't follow Skycurser anymore. Which is, and I kind of like the way that I had it, where it was following Skycurser, but I'm just following the scripting here. So for now, we'll just do it this way. Yeah, that's pretty good actually right there. I'd say even maybe I could do a little bit less. That might be a little bit too much. So let's go 185 and change this guy to 175. Change it to 5 degrees instead of 10 degrees off of 180.
Brad, how is she still awake?
I don't know.
Oh, she's been awake for like...
I mean, she slept forever though.
What did you say?
She slept forever. Yeah, that's really good. And when that is spit instead of projectiles, that'll look really good. I think I want to move where that originates from, because right now it's I'll slow it way down so you can see where this is coming off of, but let's divide by 3 here to show you, but I'm going to move it immediately. So we'll go x minus, I don't know, 5, y minus 3. See what that gives us. Slow it way down though. You'll see that it's coming out of the wrong location. See how that's coming way back from where he is at? It should be coming out of where his mouth is when it's all the way forward. So I think we need to go x minus Minus maybe 15. Let's try that. It's a huge sprite, so and the X position is way off to the right, so if we just originate from the X position, it's going to be too far to the right, so we'll just keep messing with it here for a minute, see if we can get it right. This is one of those things where you just kind of have to keep trying until you get it. Yeah, that's pretty close, even though, man, I think it could go even more. I'm saying like 15 more pixels. Let's try that. Yeah, that's pretty close right there. Yeah, okay, so now we'll just speed it back up to where it was. I'm really satisfied with where what that looks like. Okay, next piece. Okay, Hulu enters punching. Oh, I need to make sure that we only shoot 3 times real quick before moving into the next phase. So reset the spit count, or increment the spit counter, and we do all this if we're in phase 1. Otherwise, we go into our next phase. Boom. Else. Phase 2. And we'll probably have some variables set here. Say phase 1. So we increment this at the end. So we say 0, 1, 2, which would be the third one. If spit set counter is equal to 2. Actually 3 because 0 index, then we say phase 1 equals false. And so basically what will happen is we'll let him spit 3 times, and then he should I think he's probably going to continue whatever direction he was going, probably fly off screen. Or no, his speed is 0, and I don't change the speed again before he does anything, so he'll probably stop moving immediately after 3 spits. Well, 3 sets of spits. So he should spit 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so he stops moving, so he's done with phase 1 there. Let's watch that one more time and see how that goes. I think that was only 2 sets, so maybe I need to stop it at 3. Yeah, so we'll stop it at 3. And it would matter if it was 0 based here, if it was at the very beginning of the phase, but since it's not at the beginning of the phase, it's at the end. 0 based index doesn't matter. We're literally incrementing it after all the action has occurred. So set 1, set 2, and set 3, and then he stops. And wow, he was way up at the top of the screen. I was shocked that he was shooting way up there. Okay, so I think what's happening is the cooldown really should be happening in here or outside of here altogether. So, and the cooldown should only start after we are after Skycurser is false again. Okay, so if we haven't found Skycurser and the cooldown is less than 2 seconds, then just increment the cooldown. Otherwise, look for Skycurser. And if we have not found Skycurser, we're still moving. Otherwise, we found Skycurser, fire. Reset, done firing. Play. Alright, now he should only fire when he gets within range, like within 10 pixels up or down of Skycurser. He wasn't doing that a second ago, even though I thought he was. So we'll prove that. He should find him right about here. And then I'll move to the bottom. He shouldn't find for 3 seconds. Then he finds him. Then I'll move all the way to the top. See if he finds him. I don't think the Y position is within range of his Y position. There it was. So I think if he's at the top, he can't find his Y position. So I may need to make that. I think I've got his Y position basically right about where his mouth is. So if I'm only 10 pixels up above, but I don't have him going up high enough to find that. So let's let him go up high enough. That'd probably be the better way to do it. So similar to how we did this, let's make more rows for this for him to go. So he'll go up a little bit higher. 9 rows. And go to the very top. Basically go as high as you can. Just so that you can find Skycurser and Skycurser can't hang out up there. And if we need to, we'll bring that down just a little bit, but that's probably going to be real good. All right, I'm not even gonna test that. Phase 2. Julio enters his punching phase by quickly moving to a center vertical position on the right half of the screen, right third of the screen. Julio throws 3 punches in a row, very, very quick succession. First 2 punches travel only half across the screen horizontally. Final punch travels fully across the screen. After the first set of punches, Julio moves to the top half of the screen and throws the same 3 punches. And then quickly moves to the bottom half of the screen, throws 3 more punches. So this is where I think I might need some modifications to the current sprite, because I think the current sprite is a little bit broken for this. Nonetheless, let's try to do it with what we have. Okay, cool. All right, phase 2. Direction, point direction, wherever you're currently at. Move to the very center of the screen. But at a third, room width divided by 4 times 3. Trust me, that is correct. I've done a lot of these calculations to figure out exactly where a third of the way across the screen is. You can't just go room width divided by 3 times 2, because then you end up you're going to end up too far towards the middle of the screen. Yeah, let's just try this and see if this gets us where we need to be for our Y position. Now we can do something like this: room height divided by 2 here, just to get us to the middle of the room. At least get Julio's Y position to the middle of the room. And again, his Y position is roughly in the middle of his mouth. I don't know, 3 for now. Point distance equals x, y, x position, y position. If distance floor distance is less than or equal to 5, then stop. And change the action to what is the action here? Jab. Jab, and let's just see what that gets us. He'll just keep jabbing once he hits that spot. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's go ahead and make it so that he can connect with Skycurser. Step event. Okay, let's try that. That might do it. That was a little bit weird. So I think I know what happened there. Skycurser was invincible, but and so he didn't die until he was finished. So let's say if hit does not equal no one, if object Skycurser is not invincible, then we do this. Alright, that should prevent the, when you come on screen, you die immediately, bug that we just saw. Because he should be invincible as he's flying across screen at the very beginning. I think that's how I just generally have it set up. Didn't get it. Invulnerable. Let's try invulnerable. I know it's one of those two at the very least. Let's see if that's one of them. Invincible, invulnerable. Only if he's not invincible.
She's out.
Good.
Hopefully she stays around. Half hour.
Come on, what's going on there? I guess I don't have any of my oh. Well, nonetheless, we got the pieces working here, so I'm happy with that. I don't need to keep working on the flying across the screen. I might look at one more thing real quick. Hmm. So invincible equals a true there, and then invincible equals to false here.
Looks like a little pea pod.
Still died. It's taunting me. I think the thing is, let's just do a hit dot invincible instead of hit dot invulnerable on that step event. If you're not invincible, alright, so if you're none of these, then go ahead and make it 0. Let's just try it. If this doesn't work, I'm not really going to worry about it anymore. It's not going to be an issue in the real room. Boom. Die no matter what. Oh. I think the mask might be wrong. Right? Maybe not. Let me also check instance place versus instance point. I think instance place is correct. Instance position. Oh. What's the difference here? This will work for precise collisions, but only if both the instance and the object being checked have precise collision masks. So that should be right. Precise here. Skycurser has always been precise. Let's just verify that, but oh, he's not precise. That's why we're having some weird things happen with okay. Otherwise, only bounding box collisions are applied. Yeah, and that's why he keeps getting hit. Crap. Because the bounding box on the So he dies immediately. If you do not need the idea of the colliding instance, you should consider using a position meeting instead. Yeah, so there's just a big problem here with the sprite, which is that because Skycurser doesn't have precise collision checked. Oh wait, let me check one other thing. Yeah, see, if I had precise, can I still do ellipse or diamond? Hit OK. Yeah, it unchecks precise collision masking. Masking. Thinking. The weird thing is, it feels like it works in most other cases. I think that's because most other cases don't have a sprite that's this large. The width is 200. I mean, it's almost as wide as the screen, or a large portion of the screen. He flies out far enough to hit him with 200. Not going to worry about it right now, though, because everything still behaves just fine without worrying about that. Animation, collision, movement. Alright. Now, he does just punch. So we need to figure out a way to determine how many times he's punched. Let's look at the animation. Figure out his furthest point forward. 25. Yeah, 25. So we're going to add a new piece here, which will be jabs started equals false, jab counter equals 0. Okay, and then if do the same thing we did with spitwad fired, jab fired equals false. If floor image index equal to 25, jab fired equals true. Jab counter plus plus. And so any other time, jab is not fired. Ooh. And we say here, if jab counter greater than or equal to 2. Now this is a zero-based index, and we're checking it before the action actually occurs, so that's why this is important. Third jab zero-based index. Let's do less than or equal to 2. And then else. Phase 2 equals false. And we'll do a phase 1, phase 2. Phase 2 equals true, or I mean false. And then we set phase 2 to true here. Phase 2 equals true. And we say else if phase 2, and then phase 2 equals false here would push us all the way down to the end of this else if statement. Let's see what we're inside here. What is this? Just making some notes here so I can not lose track of where I'm at. Else if phase 3. Let's just put phase 3 here. Phase 3 equals false. Phase 3 equals true. And we're in phase 3. And let's go ahead and set up some similar action here. First 2 punches. After the first set of punches, Julio moves to the top half of the screen, throws the same 3 punches. Okay, so we do have to do some movement before we move to phase 3. We got to move to the top and then move to the bottom. So this is move to center. And let's put that information So instead of these right here, what we're going to do is I'm going to comment them out because we'll need them in a second, but not yet. I want to change the move equal to top, and then if move is equal to center, then set the move to top. Else, if move is equal to top, set move equal to bottom. Else, if move is equal to bottom, then we set it to false and then send it into phase 3. So then we say here else if move is equal to top, and then else if move is equal to bottom. Again, this is one of those scenarios where I should be able to reduce a lot of duplicate code, but for the sake of getting through this and not refactoring and letting the refactoring occur a little bit later instead of while I'm right in the middle of it, which normally would be a good thing to do, but because I'm trying to keep this thing moving forward, I'm going to take some shortcuts and I'll have to go back and pay some debt down later. So the Y position here should be room height divided by 4 times 3. Actually, just divided by 4. And this one should be room height divided by 4 times 3. And that would probably... Oh, what we need to do here when we're changing these is also change the action back to normal while he's moving. And then set the action back to normal when we're jumping out of this phase into phase 3. We'll do a debug message here. So we can prove we got to phase 3. Alright. Now, one thing I'm not doing here yet is bringing the jab all the way across the screen. I'll do that, but not yet. Come on, gotta be getting there. Load. Right now he should be moving, but he's not. It thinks we reached phase 3, so we jumped right through there too quickly, through our if statement too quickly. Let's try to modify that a little bit, see why it would have done that. Because the jab counters did not get reset, that's why. So when you're telling it to move to top, you got to say jab counter equals true, and then set jab started to false. I mean set jab counter to 0. All right. Let's try that. That should solve our problems. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so we definitely want him to move a little further, and I think we did reach phase 3. Yep, there it was, but he did move exactly where we wanted him to. The only other thing that we'll do here is, again, make this guy move up quite a bit higher to room height divided by 8, or sorry, room height divided by 9, and then room height divided by 9 times 8 here, so make this guy go all the way to the bottom. And I think I've only seen him jab twice. Let me think about that for a second. I'm not sure. Not 100% worried about it. I did see really quick that I could refactor a little bit of this. Reduce duplicate, because this is the same every single time I hit this section. And normal is also the same. Cool. Alright. Phase 3 is after the final punch at the low position, Julio throws an uppercut. Uppercut starts at the bottom right corner of the screen and arcs forward and upward until hitting the center of the screen's vertical axis. At this point, the uppercut is as far to the left of the screen as it will ever go. It should be just outside the left half of the screen. Then the uppercut begins arching backwards towards the top right of the screen. After the uppercut, Julio moves to the next pattern. Got it.
Every time you say Julio, it's that Bruno Mars song.
So basically an uppercut is thrown here. After that last pattern.
Baby, don't stay up too late so we can get up a little. I'm gonna leave her down here, is that okay?
Okay, so then there's an uppercut, and this looks to me like a perfect opportunity to do a dynamic path. Julio's final pattern sees him shooting 8 spit bullets up into the air off screen. After a few seconds, 8 bullets then fall back down from left hand to the right hand side of the screen, forcing the player to either dodge the bullets or destroy them with a katana. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. As the bullets are falling, Julio will move up and down on the right third of the screen. I mean, fall back down from the left hand to the right hand side of the screen? Is that like rain kind of, or what? Oh, so what I'm seeing here. What I'm seeing here is that you fight one at a time and then you come back and you fight both of them together. That's pretty cool. First guy, second guy, and then both guys. Are the scripts public or is that a private Google Docs project? Yeah, it's private. It's private. Yes, sir. Okay, now to do some dynamic scripting, I'm just going to pull from some things that I've already done some dynamic scripting on. And I'm talking about the big rig trailer bubble eyeballs. So, and I think that happens and is controlled via here. Here we go. So I think that's also controlled within the BEB. Step event. Based on the BEB type. Yeah, just enemy 5 movement is probably what I'm looking for. Yeah, here we go. This is good. Okay. Here is the code for dynamic path creation. And then 4 really, 0.4 on this guy. I mean, I've got 3 points. That's all I need. 0.1, 0.2, 0.4. And we add the points to the path. And I need to take off. I think I've got to add a path name here in the create. So we're going to remove all these argument zeros because they were part of a script, and that was the argument that was passed in. And replace all the bed paths with the path that we created in the create event. And that should do it for that. And I will say if path 3, phase 3 path started, if it's not started, and then go ahead and say it started right here. Phase 3 path started. It's true. And then right here where we end up deleting it, we then just say path 3 equals false, path 4 equals true, or phase, sorry. Phase 4 equals false. Alright, let me just look at this one more time. Just resetting variables as I go throughout, so I don't have to do a lot of resetting of variables at the end of the loop. I think this is it. If phase 3 path started is false, then set it to true. Set these variables. I need to remove these argument zeros here. I knew I was missing something. Bye, bye, goodbye, bye. feel really good about this. It says absolute set to true, but I also need to update where position 4x is, and that should be current x. And I'm going to do room height divided by 8 here. And I actually don't need these random offsets. Room width divided by 2. Let's just try plus 20. And this guy will be room height divided by 2. Cool. See what we got. Okay, so when we do this, we might add a couple more points, but we'll definitely increase the speed to original step speed, and also change the action I think it's just an uppercut action. Let's verify that. There it is. Cool. Alright, let's see how that goes. Not really sure how that's going to go. Because once again, I think the sprite needs a little bit of work in terms of cropping and what is sent over. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, it's feeling really good. That dynamic path worked the very first time. So his speed is really quick on that. The uppercut in the original step speed is too slow. So I might make this an enter screen speed. Make it way faster. And then whenever he's doing the uppercut, similar to how we did this here, we'll make this a little bit slower on the uppercut. Original image speed, which is 3, which is what we just saw there. Let's make it slower. Make it 1. Make it, I don't know, let's try 6. Basically make it 6 times slower than 3, which would be 0.5. Oh yeah, that actually looked pretty good. Wow, that looked really good. I'm watching the replay. And I might speed it up a little bit, the image index on the animation, just a little bit, because it didn't get to play through the animation before the movement finished. Just make it a speed of 1, basically. Speed of 1, but dynamically calculated off the original step speed. Whoa. Again, I'm watching the preview just to make sure that looks right. I think that's pretty good. There is one thing that I don't like about where the top position is. It's too high. So let's try room height divided by 7 and see if that brings him down a little bit. It should. And then I think we hit phase 4, right? Phase 3 reached. Let's see. Phase 4. Phase 3 is false. Let's say this. I think we gotta pull this guy out here, put him here. If path position is equal to 1, yeah. Alright, we should see phase 4 again, or at least this time. Shoot. I see a bug. Alright. Okay, you flew way off screen. Oh, I destroyed self. That ain't gonna work. Did not necessarily want to put him outside the room. Will I be getting Legacy of the Void? That's a good question. I do have beta access to Legacy of the Void, so I'm not sure how they're doing that, if I get a discount or if I have to actually pay for it when it comes out or not. So yeah, I can play it any time. But yeah. If I have to pay for it, I may do that. I'm not really liking the way Blizzard is cornering. My favorite race on StarCraft 2 is Terran, and I'm not really liking the way Blizzard is making some of the new features for Terran. They've taken away some old key features. The race is already difficult enough to play, I think, but a lot of people would disagree, but that's my opinion. Alright, let's see if we got it. Yes, phase 4. Got it. Nailed it. So, let's Julio's final pattern sees him shooting 8 spit bullets up in the air. So, last thing we'll do is have him come back down to about center of the screen in his normal position. And then back up to spit. So let's see what this last piece is. If Julio hasn't been damaged past his HP, he will give the player a raspberry and restart his loop. Julio hits his HP limit, he flies close to the middle of the screen, gives the player a raspberry, flies off the screen from the right. Alrighty. So we're getting close, guys. We're really moving. I think I'm going to have to call it quits here, though. It's getting late, and man, I've been streaming for almost 3 hours, it looks like. So we got a lot accomplished. Look at all that beautiful code that we wrote. This is all as of today. We got literally basically phases 1 through 3 completed. We have some updates to make for these phases, but they're minor updates. The main thing was to get these phases in place and have them generally doing what they should be doing. So what's next for Julio? We basically have to have him in phase 4 come to the center of the screen, do his spit upwards so that it rains down on Skycurser, and then do his raspberry and restart his loop until he reaches a certain amount of hit points. And after he hits those hit points, he flies off screen and brings in Cesar, which then starts his loop. So I'm not sure what that looks like yet, because honestly I haven't read it. I've just been trying to focus on what we've gotten so far. So again, made some real good progress. I'm really excited about it, and hopefully this won't take too many more streams to get this boss under wraps so that we can throw him into level 2 and then begin modifying the scripting just a little bit for level 2 so that it makes sense. So but yeah, guys, thanks for the support tonight. Thanks so much for coming in and chatting. DeBeastly, P-Dog, thanks a lot, guys. Good to see you guys. And if you're catching this on YouTube or later on Twitch, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. If you haven't already, bop that follow button, both on YouTube and Twitch, and follow us on Twitter at Skycurser. And you can find us on our site, www.skycurser.com. And thanks a lot, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Talk to you next time.